You are now entering Video Village.
No, you bring your own privy.
Coming up,
I review Unforgivable, Dangerous Animals, So Torn, Sovereign, and Too Much.
and then we review Rick and Morty Season 8,
Friendship,
How to Train Your Dragon,
Bring Her Back,
28 years later.
and Superman. Okay, I need to just lay things on you, Jordan.
Okay.
On
On me, not at me.
you.
Okay.
You don't lay something at someone, do you?
No, you're relaying them.
I relay it. I said lay. I need to
so-
lay something on
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Oh, you said relay.
No. Ignore that. Okay, so I'm going to start with Unforgivable.
Okay.
So this is a BBC TV film.
Yeah.
It's about a paedophile, maybe, kind of. Not sure exactly what his psychology is. But he molested his nephew
Right.
several years ago. And now he's coming out of prison. And the family have to deal with that kind of looming over them as they have their own little domestic strifes. It's written by Jimmy McGovern, who's one of the more celebrated writers in British TV. So he created Cracker, he wrote Hillsborough, The Street, Accused. He's one of the masters of naturalism, which Britain does better than anyone.
Okay.
This is no different. Bobby Schofield as The Offender is fantastic. It works remarkably well casting an unfamiliar actor in that role. I can see a BAFTA for him, a nomination at least. The rest of the cast, Anna Maxwell Martin, Anna Friel, and David Threlfall, also brilliant. It's heavy stuff, but never melodramatic in spite of the odd music cue. It has moments that really punch. I mean, it's a drama set partly in a home for convicted paedophiles, very much wading into the abyss.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see a longer running project in a similar environment, if only to see how it's handled, you know? You certainly feel for Joe, the guy, in part, despite yourself. It's complicated and makes an effort to address and grapple with that complexity. The Guardian called it better than Adolescence. Now, few will agree.
Yeah.
I might.
Oh, really?
Okay? It feels more mature. Not that Adolescence was puerile, but the style of that show does bestow upon it a youthful exuberance.
Okay.
This is more lived in. Some will regard its conclusion as anticlimactic, and some will regard as unconscionable its attempt to contextualise what we consider monstrous. But there's a light to be detected at the end of the tunnel, and the rest is up to you, really.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. I did actually see, I think, the first 10 minutes of this with my parents. We decided not to carry on watching it because it looked like it was a heavy watch, and I just didn't think we were in the mood for it.
It kind of is,
Yeah.
but it's not particularly bleak or... Like I said, it's not melodramatic. You're probably not going to, well up watching it.
Okay.
It's just the themes are kind of heavy.
Yeah.
But it's lighter than you might think.
Okay.
You know?
And I think partially because of the naturalism of it as well. It's like,
it's very British kitchen sink realism. Yeah.
Yeah, this is demanding something of me as a viewer by not really dressing up anything that it's showing me.
It's not something that I would recommend to you typically, just because it's not quite your vibe. Do you know what I mean? It's that Tyrannosaur kind of world. And Mike Lee. I don't know how much you get out of Mike Lee. I just don't know.
Okay.
But I'd recommend trying it. Okay. Dangerous Animals. So this is about a man, played by Jai Courtney, who kidnaps women, typically, and feeds them to sharks for his own amusement.
Oh, all right.
It's kind of a slashery.
For a laugh.
Basically, for a laugh, yeah. He records it for posterity. He really enjoys it. I saw a list on Rotten Tomatoes kind of in tandem with this film coming out about the best shark movies. Besides a couple of documentaries, there's one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lead Hassie Harrison has fitting pulchritude. I don't know the subtleties of the variations in the Australian accent, so I don't know if Jai Courtney is just doing his normal voice. But it evoked Chris Hemsworth appropriating his grandfather for Furiosa.
Oh, okay.
That kind of older school, you know.
Yeah.
Like when he has two women locked in his boat prison.
Yeah.
What's the term for that? Is it the brig?
Yeah, that sounds right.
The brig, yeah. And when he's playing it with that kind of cartoonish, maniacal, I'm a good guy kind of thing. When he leaves him, he's like, all right, hooroo. I guess it's that their Torah kind of thing.
Okay.
It's nasty, if not nasty enough. There's a cheesy kill the villain sign-off line, a pretty goofy death, and a corny love brought them back from the brink ending. It's alright. It's popped up quite a bit. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have talked about it. Not gnarly enough for me, and I can't earnestly recommend it.
Okay.
But it's okay, and it's the best Jai Courtney's ever been. Not that that's saying a great deal.
Okay. Is it the same shark he feeds them to?
No.
Okay.
No, I think maybe there's, if memory serves me, there's like one shark that he's trying to get. I don't know if it's a particular shark or a particular breed of shark.
Right.
But like there's a time in the film where other kind of smaller sharks are gathering for their feed. He's like, fuck off, this isn't your turn.
Oh, right.
Because he wants like the great white or whatever.
Because I was going to say, if it's the same shark, I wonder if there's like a fun little conversation to be had there about like who's actually the serial killer in that situation.
Yeah. No, they don't imply, I don't think, that it's ever the one shark. He's the bad guy, not the sharks. You know?
Right, okay.
I don't know how many of those we can expect. I mean, in this day and age, it would be like, oh, isn't the shark the real victim? You know?
Yeah.
We don't make animals the villain anymore because they're just being animals.
But like, is the shark the weapon? Because that's like what's used to kill the person, but also the shark is... Like, you can't force the shark to eat something it doesn't want to eat. So the shark is complicit in some respect.
Anything that doesn't have consciousness or a conscience can't be complicit, can it?
Okay.
So, no, I don't blame the shark morally.
Okay.
It's the instrument of
The sharks
violence.
they're not considered sentient, are they?
Not as far as I know. I don't think any creature does anything that it knows that's wrong.
No,
it's human beings.
No, it's just like recently they reclassified. I think it was like crabs, lobsters, octopuses, because they found out they actually do feel pain, and that's one of the criteria for a sentient creature.
Yes.
So I didn't know if sharks were kind of in that camp. Like not because it's like it's not like a dolphin where it like recognizes itself in the mirror, but it's there's something about it that like
this leads to the question: what does sentience mean? And we just don't have the time.
Nor is this really the film that warrants that.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
so let's move on.
Right.
So Torn. So this is about a seamstress who's inherited her mother's
SEW.
What?
So
yeah. SEW Torn.
Okay.
Yeah. And she stumbles upon a No Country for Old Men aftermath of a thing gone wrong.
Right.
So there's like two guys have been shot. The criminal's doing some sort of deal maybe. There's a police car, whatever. And then she takes the money and runs. And then the film shows multiple different avenues of what happens depending on what she does. It's a sliding doors thing, like what happens if she does this but doesn't do that? She does that. I think there's three of them. So there's three distinct stories of what, the consequences of her actions. It's that Coen-esque setup. In fact, Joel Coen saw the short film on which this was based at some like the American Film Institute kind of thing, and he encouraged the director to make it feature length.
Right.
There are these balmy Rube Goldberg systems of thread throughout the film, the devisement of which qualify the protagonist as basically a superhero.
Okay.
Because she kind of she sets up these things where people will end up getting shot, where she's not like shooting them, but also set up like these thread systems where if something moves, it triggers all these this apparatus to like shoot them or whatever.
Okay.
And make it look like, and it'll go into their hands and make it look like they did it. It's balmy.
Okay.
It is like a superhero kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a superhero, but I don't know how the seamstress would go down in this day and age. It was filmed in Switzerland, and you can infer as much, but the pan-global collection of characters, moreover, makes it nowhere. It's a strange world, occupied by few people. You get the sense of nobody's really around. John Lynch is the spitting image of Eric Cantona, and I'll say that whenever he comes up.
Okay.
An elderly woman is the sheriff, like an old woman, and she officiates weddings. She turns up at the crime scene clad in her cassock. It's that kind of film.
Right.
It's a good debut, but the structure made it feel like an episode of The Twilight Zone, something anthological. It's altogether lightweight, despite the splashes of quirk. It lacks visual panache, and the script is limited. But it's a debut, and a promising one. The resolution does a lot to leave you with a good impression. Hopefully, with a bigger budget and his teeth cut, better will follow.
Okay.
But he's really young, which is annoying as well. He's like a lot younger than us, the director.
Right.
So that's pretty annoying. But I tried to get past that.
Okay.
Sovereign. So this is about a guy, and it's a true story, a guy and his son were tied up with what's called the sovereign citizen movement, which is, if you've ever seen videos of people getting pulled over and saying, oh, the Constitution doesn't give you the right to XYZ, I know my rights. It's about people that are kind of off the grid, don't pay taxes,
Okay.
all that kind of thing, leading to violence. That's kind of what the film is doing.
Right.
But it's a true story. Jacob Tremblay plays the son. Firstly, he has no right growing up. I'm curious to see what happens with him. He's very muted in this, but he's playing a character where it's all happening inside, so we'll see with him. Nick Offerman has been good in things other than Parks and Recreation. He's the dad. But this might be the first thing I've seen him in where I didn't really think of Ron Swanson at all.
Oh, wow, okay.
Despite the fact this guy is also rather anti-big government. He's also a conspiracy theorist and a tax protester, like I said, a member of the sovereign citizen movement. There is sometimes a kernel of truth in some of what he says and believes, but we've seen these types. They're not as prevalent in the UK as they are in the US, thankfully. But like I say, I've seen loads of videos of these characters being pulled over and spouting technical sophistry. According to the Constitution, your powers don't extend to blah, blah, blah. And they are infuriating human beings. It always ends the same way, though. They get out a gun and they're shot and killed.
Right.
Or the police smash in their windows and arrest them. It's always the same thing. Anyway, Sovereign is reminiscent to films like Ted K or Blue Caprice, also true stories. People existing on the fringes of society that descend into violent chaos. Ticking time bombs. And the climax really is fucking tragic. There's a true horror to it. It's not a fun watch. It's not a perfect film. It's a solid indie with a very strong performance at its centre. So if you want to see Nick Offerman doing something very different, this is the film to watch.
Okay.
Too much. Now, I do have too much to say about this. There's a lot, so just please bear with me, and I apologise.
Okay.
This is about a young woman who works for a publishing company that is obsessed with England, proper Anglophile, like Pride and Prejudice. She loves all that shit. And she gets sent over here. She asks to get sent over here to work. And she meets a guy. It's a love story. Okay,
Right.
That's the show.
Okay.
While not coming of age in the same way, this follows the recent trend of shows like Adults and Overcompensating, annoying young people.
Right.
Just less young here. The main character spends her time watching pastoral English romantic dramas because, quote, nobody in Jane Austen books are influencers. Sure, valid, but she's that type of person. Not just vibrationally. Like social media plays a big part in the narrative of this show.
Okay.
It's important. There's also a Happy Valley reference early on, which angered me. On a recent episode of the Severance podcast, Michael Schur, you know Mike Schur?
Do I?
Parks and Rec.
I do,
The Good
yeah.
Place, The Office. He talked about the original marketing angle of The Sopranos. And it was basically, he has two families. If one doesn't kill him, the other will, you know. A lot easier to sell than a psychologically complex descent into evil and the soul. Everything I've seen around Too Much has been very an American girl in London. Her straddling beefeaters to Fergie's London Bridge.
Right.
That's been the marketing. One could argue that that's the point, that misrepresentation, because when she arrives, it's South London and council estates and chavs. But the show isn't even that. It abandons that after the pilot, really, to become this blossoming relationship dramedy, false advertising. Lead Megan Stalter isn't likeable, which has become de rigueur. There's also something about Will Sharp I don't like.
Okay.
A bit hard to put my finger on that one. He's a curious specimen. I'd have assumed he's gay, but no, he's married to he's married to the Loki woman.
Oh, right.
You know that in the show?
Okay.
Maybe that's why I don't like him. No, he just has an off-putting quality. His disaffected shtick grew tiresome here. As well as show running, Lena Dunham, it's her show.
Oh, that's why I didn't watch it.
Yes.
I was thinking, like, I have heard of this. I'm sure I have.
Yeah. As well as show running, she features as the sister, and she is just gross. There's a gay character that's unbelievably annoying. The ensemble is people by the type of characters that work in publishing, literally in this case. The supporting and guest cast boast the likes of Richard E. Grant, Kit Harington, Andrew Scott, Jessica Alba, Stephen Fry, and Jennifer Saunders, to name just a few.
Okay.
I understand why there exists a plethora of flat-sharing, sex-obsessed, grappling with adulthood sitcoms from comedy writers in their 20s. But Lena Dunham is 39, and she's still doing the girls thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that's reflective of the real world. Those characters, those people are older now. Robert Eggers has said the thought of filming a car repulses him, right? I genuinely worry about accessing the industry now in my relative dotage. Modern vernacular and social media never enter into my ideas. Moreover, I don't want them to. If I ever do get in, I'm going to have to specialise in period pieces, just recent ones. They're all set in 2002.
Yeah.
There's some wit to the dialogue, even if it's often also irritating. Speech is characterised by that non-committal tone endemic to portrayals of young people. And you might say, well, if that's how they talk. But I don't think it is. Some do, of course, and it's definitely more of an American ailment. But I'm convinced it's an affectation for film and TV. It's the fault of mockumentaries, going back to the American Office. I think it all comes from that. And then there's the idiom. Yet another millennial tumour where they all talk like unbearable cunts. So, it's giving X.
Yeah.
Listening to myself, holding space, love language, love bombing. Query. Has any of this nomenclature made people happier or healthier in their relationships? Of course there are red flags insofar as there are worrying signals. And of course there's gaslighting insofar as people lie about lying. And of course there's the ick insofar as people aren't perfect. But when it's so designated, I'm no psycholinguist, but it feels like the semantic shift toward these neologisms is unnatural.
Okay.
And yes, it's the internet's fault, because now these phrases are pumped out, hoovered up and perpetuated en masse instantaneously. And I'm a Luddite. I think the evolution of language should be more organic and certainly never prescribed. All to say, if the idea of a red flag's been planted in your mind, what used to be data that might or might not have festered is pathologized. Red flag is bad thing, end relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not just being fuddy. I honestly don't think it's a heuristic that's conducive to well-being. We've all just got to roll back a bit on several fronts, I think. But yes, if the show is the depiction of a burgeoning romance and I don't care about the two leads, that's a problem.
Yeah, because it's not just you two lead characters, that's the whole show.
That's the show.
Yeah.
I think many will care or like it. She's a chubby girl who's insecure and awkward and a needy cow. He's an arsehole that paints his nails and was the victim of child molestation. So, modern likeable types.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating the end of the rom-com, but how many fucking shows have done this sort of thing, and films? The comparisons that sprang to mind for me instantly were Love and Master of None. Nobody wants this too, but that doesn't feel like it's doing enough different. Watching a young couple be and become, I just don't have it in me with something like this.
Okay.
I won't deny it has moments that ring true. The post-sex walk, saying you're going to get an early night and staying up all hours talking, asking what you like about each other, her father's dead. Some of it was eerie and uncomfortable, I'll admit.
Right.
And I found the reminders all a bit exhausting, and frankly, I just miss old-fashioned love stories. I mean, obviously they fuck quickly, that all of them do that now.
Yeah.
For whatever problems there might have been in the span of back then, I don't think anyone can look at this and sincerely claim it will stand the test of time, that it's romance. I find modern romance is often a contradiction in terms. Stalter has the annoying falling in love face. There's also quite a bit of spitting in mouth action going on.
Right.
Here and in general recently.
Yeah.
That's been a thing. Will Sharp's character is in a band. They're shit. We have the hour-long flashback episode that's devoid of laughs, devoid of the attempt. It culminates in her ex, calling her a cunt. They trot out the trope of the terror around the so-called L word. To slightly paraphrase Hadaway, what the fuck is love? Just say it, for God's sake. After the declaration on her part, Stalter almost fucks Andrew Scott, which seems about right. She has the worst dog in the world. Happily it perishes. The dramatic climax of the season takes place at a Block the Motorway protest. That sums up the psychosphere of the show, really. They have a very intense breakup, and then they resolve that speedily in the finale and just get married. Unless the idea is to show that was a monumentally stupid idea in the second season, it's hard to know because it really could be over. I don't know what they were thinking. That's not the show I was watching, where they get married. And that wedding's not presented as anything other than completely joyful.
Right.
Know? It's the victory of the season. There are people that will lap this shit up, not I.
Okay.
And that's my review of Too Much.
Okay. You did say a lot in there.
Yes, I did.
You said at one point you miss just old-fashioned love stories.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we both have the same idea as what an old-fashioned love story is. Do you want to just quickly kind of outline that?
The meet cute.
Yeah.
Courtship. Falling in love. It might not happen, it might... These are all cliches. I'm kind of just saying that fucking isn't sort of... Now, what it tends to be now is they meet, they fuck, and then they don't know whether they're going to be a couple.
Okay.
And then then they fuck a lot. Which I understand that's part of,
Yeah.
I'm not being a prude. It's not like fuck.
This is all leading up to a question I want to ask you. But
go on then.
Finish what you were saying.
Well, that's kind of, they fuck a lot, then none of them wants to say the L word, and they fuck other people, but then they kind of come back, they break up, they come back together, and they maybe say it, maybe don't. But, no, the idea of courtship is done.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your question?
Well, yeah, my question was, yes, it's all cliched. The traditional old-fashioned love story is cliched in the realm of art and cinema. Mm-hmm. In the real world, does such a thing even exist anymore? Like what you're describing about, they meet, they fuck. But that, like, the hardest thing about their relationship is not having sex with each other, it's admitting that they like each other. That is what modern relationships are.
I'm not saying that it's not accurate.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a misrepresentation.
No.
I said, like, unfortunately, I miss old-fashioned love stories in the real world.
Yeah.
I miss love in life.
Because, I do think, like, a lot of, like, relationships with younger people, it's that type of thing where, you have sex first and then you realise later on, oh, this might be deeper than that.
Yeah.
Or you get the type of relationship where you just spend a lot of time with a person and you eventually, like, realise, oh, maybe there's a reason I'm spending so much time with this person. Like, it's not, you don't have that meet cute moment where, like, oh, instantly there's a connection.
No,
I know. Hang out with a person until a connection is, and
then the meet cute is kind of the province of art.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't tend to happen in real life. That's fine. I don't demand the meet cute.
Yeah.
I don't know, when was the last time you watched a love story that you felt that you could invest in?
I mean, that's difficult because I wouldn't know, like, in terms of the types of films where that is what the film is a love story.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's probably relationships in other shows.
Like Succession.
Yeah. Shows where
Shiv and Tom.
That's just a component of it rather than the whole point.
Yes.
Yeah, Shiv and Tom, that's the incredible. That does feel
you invest in that relationship.
Like a proper relationship because it's so tumultuous and there's so much friction between the two of them. But there's clearly some connection.
Yes.
Because they just can't leave each other alone.
Yeah. No, I just, or will they, won't they, like Friends, like for its faults, Rachel and Ross, you do kind of...
Yeah.
I just miss things where, you care about whether they end up together. I miss that.
Okay.
And I don't know whether my not caring is me or the thing, but I do occasionally see things where I care. So it's got to be the thing.
Yeah.
I just find all the people in these things unbearable cunts. But anyway, that's enough said about that, I think. Rick and Morty Season 8.
Richard and...
Morticia. Yeah.
Season 8. The 8th season.
Yes.
Of Rick and Morty. Well, 8th season overall. I think it's the second season of the new regime, right? Without Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was removed from the project for...
sexual misconduct allegations.
Yeah, which turned out being false.
Do we know that?
Yes. It went to court and it was dismissed because of lack of evidence.
Okay, but we don't know whether it's true or not.
I suppose not.
Legally, he's not guilty.
Legally, he was cleared, but then not long after that, new sexual abuse allegations and grooming allegations kind of rose to prominence. Obviously, it's being treated as another kind of false flag campaign by people that know him.
Yeah. Look, you never know, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
You never know.
But yeah, Justin Roiland has not been involved in Rick and Morty for at least 2 seasons now. And like in season 7, that definitely showed.
But Dan Harmon was really I don't know, actually. I don't know, but I felt I could tell when Harmon was writing it.
Okay.
There is a tone to his writing.
Okay. And I'll give some credit to the impersonators. Like, I'm not... Yeah. I don't hear Rick and Morty and think that's a different Rick.
I think we said it with the last season, but it's worth restating. They are pitch perfect, spot on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They should be commended.
They should be.
Yeah.
But in terms of the writing, I don't know if I made the comparison at the time, but certainly as time has gone on, Rick and Morty season 7 felt a lot like Community season 4.
Yeah.
Where you had a bunch of writers coming in and they were basically sight reading the show.
Yes.
They were kind of going, right, I think this is what people like about this show, so let's just do that.
And we talked about it a bit yesterday, didn't we? Where, yes, obviously, if it's not as good, we have to say it's not as good.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do feel bad for people that have to inherit a beloved franchise that had a distinct voice.
Yes.
John Wells, who took over The West Wing after Aaron Sorkin left. And I like John Wells, he's a professional showrunner. He's had a career of it. He's the Pit he's doing now.
Yeah.
Producing it and directing it, I think. But yeah, I've seen interviews with him. He was like, look, I was an executive producer on that show. There was like 3 or 4 of us. Two of them left, the writer and the director that gave it its look. They left. They wanted me to stay, so I did. I'm like a company guy or whatever. I like the job, I like the people. And we did our best to do our impression of an Aaron Sorkin show.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it, And I feel bad because, Aaron's, it's like following. I remember, I think it was Jordan Peterson had a client once as a clinical psychologist that was depressed because he was comparing himself to his college roommate. He's like, I never fucking match up. Like Salieri and Mozart, he's my fucking, I never. And his college roommate was Elon Musk. It's like, dude, you just didn't luck out.
Yeah.
With your college roommate, And I feel, if you're following Aaron Sorkin, you're not going to match up to it.
No, you're not.
If you're trying to do an Aaron Sorkin type thing.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for the showrunners now of Rick and Morty.
Yeah. So I have no memory really of Rick and Morty season 7.
Nor do I.
Probably apart from I think there was an episode where they fell in a hole, and whenever they escaped the hole, but then they realized they were still in the hole.
Yeah.
That's all I remember really about Rick and Morty season 7, and it kind of reused a lot of ideas from previous seasons.
Yeah.
Which didn't help the feeling that they were just kind of
retreading.
Yeah, trying to figure out what Rick and Morty was by doing all the stuff that's been done before. I think that is still the case with season 8, but I think they've done a better job this time.
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement, and it feels like there were a lot of episodes where it was just two characters on a little side adventure.
Yes.
So it's like they've kind of gone, right, we've tried doing the big broad stuff, and we haven't quite got there. So let's just spend time with each character and figure out who they are. Yeah,
kind of less accomplished versions of Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
Let's sort of do that.
Yeah, so Jerry gets an episode where he's with an alternate version of himself. Beth has an episode where she becomes a young girl again.
Yes.
The season finale, I think it's all about Rick's relationship with his dead wife. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of using elements from previous seasons. I think that
Morty and his son, that's the one, isn't it?
Morty and his son, yeah. So it's kind of still retreading old ideas, but it's using it to kind of understand the character a little better. So I admire the attempt this time.
Yes, well, the first episode was quite funny. The video of Osama bin Charging. Severing the charger wire and the firefighter punching the wall. I laughed out loud at that. Okay, that's a 9/11 joke, if you like, that I found funny.
Yeah.
It's not bad, right? Especially considering some other sci-fi shows from this year.
Yes.
But it's very not what it used to be, like you say.
No.
Its place in culture has just fallen so far. It's certainly not an event series anymore. Do you remember around season 3, it was every fucking way. I didn't know what it was. I hadn't watched it.
Yeah.
And everywhere was backpacks, and it was,
Pickle Rick.
Rick, yeah.
I mean, I on the one hand, season 3 came out at a time where we were out all the time, because it was kind of at the end of our uni days.
Yeah.
So we were always out with people.
And around band time as well, I think.
Yeah, so always, we were always around the type of people that watch Rick and Morty. Now, less so. But at the same time...
It's just not... It doesn't...
Yeah,
we're also more tuned in than we were back then.
Yeah, if you weren't doing this, would you even know that another season of Rick and Morty had happened?
No, probably not. No. Yeah, it hasn't popped up anyway.
No.
And it's on cruise control, which still leaves it better than most animations, I think.
Okay.
You're more of the authority on that. But, right, from all the ones you've seen, it's still in the top tier.
Yeah, I think so, because it still feels like just some of the ideas that it's coming up with. It's okay, that it requires thought to get to that point.
Yeah.
Even if the execution could be better, it does feel like it's still trying to push itself a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though, as you say, it's still its best days are far behind. I think there's an episode where this season where James Gunn and Zack Snyder are both in it.
Yeah.
And it's it came out the same day as Superman, and that episode is very clearly it's to promote Superman without directly promoting Superman.
Yeah, him showing up the week they released that.
Yeah.
It was a weird throwback to when stars and shows would do that for publicity.
Yeah.
But it tasted sour, because I thought Rick and Morty was punk.
Yeah, I thought that, but they're always they were in Space Jam 2, they were playable fighters in multiverses. They are kind of WB shills. They've
broken out of the silo. Right,
yeah, they're always included in those big cross-universe promotions. Because you see Rick and Morty and you go... people go, oh, I like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And they're counterculture, so the fact that they're in this big thing...
Yeah.
It must be good.
It gives a lens of credibility.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I like the Easter episode.
Yeah.
Jerry is the Easter Bunny.
That's one of the few, I don't know if there is such thing as a traditional Rick and Morty episode.
No.
But that's a big event episode which involves all of the characters.
Yeah.
It's a semi-world changing event.
Yeah.
So, that was it stood out in that respect.
And Jerry remains my favourite character, probably. Yeah. So, just a Jerry episode,
Yeah. More so than the actual Jerry episode where he's meeting all the different versions.
No, there's him mutating into the Easter Bunny is a funny idea to me.
Okay.
What that character gets put through. Other than that, this is another show we'll both keep watching, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But unless there's drastic change, we might not have to talk about this anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
happy to, because they're not mega reviews.
No.
But it's like, I think probably a lot of what we said now, we've said before.
Yeah. And we'll probably be saying about season 9.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So other than saying, oh, but I liked that bit, what is there to say?
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that final episode as well, I think I did like that episode because it was less, it felt more sincere.
Yeah.
Which on the one hand, it's nice that they're trying to make Rick and Morty sincere, but also it hasn't been sincere for the past 9 episodes, and now you're asking me to care.
Yes.
So it felt of a bit of a contradiction in that respect. Because it feels like, for the most part, Rick and Morty's just doing all of this kind of like, we kind of do whatever we want, but then they'll have an episode where like, oh no, this is, for lack of a better word, canon.
Yeah.
Like, this matters to the overall progression of the characters in the show, and so now we're going to take it seriously.
Yeah. What's the name of the character that pops up at the end of every season?
Oh, is it like Mr. Poopy Butthole or something?
Yeah, Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Yeah.
The thing about Rick and Morty back when it was in its heyday that was always a risk is that it kept needing to out-clever itself. Because Dan Harmon is a snarky writer, isn't he? He's like, I'm going to play with form. Everything is sarcastic. Nothing is to be taken seriously. Nothing is sacred. It's all like, as postmodern jokesters go, he's like near the top.
Yeah.
And so it was always like, they would bring that character in to kind of comment on the show to some degree. I was like, okay, but where does this go? You can't keep out-metaing and out-thinging yourself. And so it's crashed now. So literally he pops up at the end of the season just to go, hey, this was the season finale. And that's kind of all he says.
Well, they do kind of allude to, it seems like, because that's the thing, I don't remember, so I don't know if they're continuing a narrative thread or not.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're kind of turning this into an overarching narrative
like,
too.
BTK and Mindhunter.
Yeah.
Or it's like the side thing that's evolving.
Yeah.
Yes. But do you know what I mean? It's like, you couldn't keep going up on that axis of, it's even more self-referential and unpacking itself, and that can't go on forever.
No, it can't.
And so we've, like I said, it's on cruise control now, just this level of, it's kind of postmodern-y and picking at itself, but not really.
Yeah.
Not a lot, you know? Yeah, that's all I've got, really.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know if you've been watching Rick and Morty and keeping up with it, then obviously keep going.
Yeah.
No reason to start here.
There is absolutely no reason to stop and no reason to start here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also, its best days are behind it, and there's no glimmer that they will return.
No.
This is probably what we have until it finishes now.
Yeah.
If it finishes. I don't know what the idea is here.
What's it been renewed to? Is it like season 12?
It's something like that. I think it's an amount of episodes that's the equivalent of 12 seasons.
Right, okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Friendship. What's it about?
Tim Robinson is a strange guy.
He's rather strange.
Paul Rudd is not.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Yeah.
Will they be able to maintain a friendship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Rudd moves into the cul-de-sac or whatever neighbourhood.
Yeah.
They strike up a friendship, and Tim Robinson really wants to be his friend.
Yeah.
I haven't read much about the film, because that feels a bit like it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
But this is very, very much a Tim Robinson film, while written and directed by Andrew DeYoung. As far as I know, they have no previous working relationship.
Okay.
So it's amazing how tailored to Robinson this feels.
It's interesting. I think we were, I alluded to this without naming it last episode.
Okay.
Because you said you don't think there's such thing as an A24 film.
We'll come back to that weirdly this episode, but yeah.
Yeah, whereas I kind of said, this does feel like an A24 film, but one that Tim Robinson has just kind of wandered into.
And it's not a horror film, but it has that sense of unease to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's weird because while the film does feel perfectly tailored to him and it does let him do what he does best,
yes,
the film around him isn't behaving as though it's existing in the same space.
That's right. Yeah. So the film is kind of its own thing, but Tim Robinson is not moulding himself to the film.
No.
He's just being Tim Robinson in it. What is going on with his face? Seriously. It's difficult to quickly sum up what manner of object he is.
Yeah.
But one definition that keeps occurring to me is a man that doesn't respond right.
Yeah.
That's what Tim Robinson is.
Yes.
He reminds me of... You haven't seen Punch Drunk Love, have you?
No.
But Adam Sandler's Barry Egan in that. It's very, like, something's going on.
Okay.
Paul Rudd's Austin is an interesting presence in the film. There's an ambiguity to him, even as he evokes Anchorman's Brian Fantana.
Yeah.
I did read that the character's original name in the script was Brian, but he asked them to change it.
Oh, right, okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting that while Robinson's Craig is, of course, misaligned from the off.
That's a kind way of putting it.
Yeah, misaligned. One's entrenched expectations of narrative lead you to the suspicion that Rudd is up to something weird or sinister.
Yeah.
That he's luring Robinson into something shady, right?
Yeah.
I like that he's actually not.
Yeah.
That he is the guy who's a bit odd.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
The tone of cringe is established from the initial seconds. Incidentally, how did Tim Robinson bag Kate Mara?
Yeah, that was the one part of the film where it felt like...
Strained credulity.
Yeah, all right, that's just something I'm going to have to accept.
Yeah, I know.
Even though I think, like, from the off, it's clear that I don't think Kate Mara
not
likes
happy.
him. And she's probably sleeping with someone else
Yeah.
and, like, has a weird relationship with her son.
Yes.
That even Tim Robinson's like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one thing I was like, all right, this is because it's a film. You know?
Sure. The framing and general standpoint, the style, is singular and creates an acute strangeness throughout. Many scenes have a stream of consciousness feeling to them, I found. Like, writing to a rhythm over sense. It's like, It makes sense if he said something like that now. You know what I mean? But tonally. Like, and a bit. It's rather than, oh no, but it can't be nonsense.
Yeah.
They don't care about that. And it's funny. Properly funny. I watched it alone and laughed out loud at least 10 times.
Yes, yeah.
I enjoyed the fact that the music of Slipknot was used to signify living more on the edge. You know, like, very subconsciously. Otherwise, the score is quite chilled out and relaxing, which makes everything worse. Because there is a dread beneath it all. You can't shake the feeling that we're heading towards something terrible.
Yeah.
We never really do.
I think that could be said about the film as a whole, where it's like, we never really get there.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the phrase I'm going to take away from this film.
Yes. I don't know what I expected to get out of it, but you're right. In conversation before, you said it was like Sinners. And yeah, it doesn't go all the way.
Yeah.
It very almost does. Very almost. But I think we probably both expected it to ascend into the stratosphere of the surreal, or plunge deeper or darker, you know? Ultimately, it's a rather straightforward story, just viewed through a lens askew.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really about much, and that's fine. I guess I didn't need balls out bizarreness or profundity. All I can say is that I ended up liking it and admiring it, but not loving it.
Yeah.
The line, "stay curious," is uttered a couple of times in the film, and that's the film asking it of its audience, basically, I think. As guiding principles go in life, it's a lovely one and an important one, and it's appropriate here because the film is an intriguing cipher. You take from it whatever you take, I suppose. And I would recommend it, if for no other reason that it's something very different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
like I said, like the film around Tim Robinson, the direction is very... It's such a well-behaved film in its filmmaking. And it's an interesting contrast having that kind of filmmaking and that kind of discipline in its presentation while depicting the antics of Tim Robinson.
It reminded me...
Because his sketch show, like the filmmaking that is as unhinged as him at times.
Yes.
Yeah.
It reminded me a bit of The Curse and things like that, where the direction, it has an odd posture.
Yeah.
It's just not quite where you'd think the camera should be or what it should be doing. It's like, it's zooming in that way, like, why is it...
Yeah.
It's all a bit not right, and I love that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I admire it a great deal. I'm not in love with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to love it more than I do, but there are things about it I do genuinely really like.
And I'll definitely go back to it, because I think we were talking about it yesterday. It's probably the funniest film of the year that we've seen so far.
Yeah. I don't know how much of that is that it just manages to tap into, like, our sense of humour.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely. I don't think a lot of people would say it's the funniest.
Yeah, I think there are people that will watch this and think, what the fuck am I even watching?
Yeah, too uncomfortable. Just too... Yeah.
Or just like, he's just so silly.
Yeah.
Like, behave yourself, Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, those people are wrong as far as I'm concerned.
That should be if he has a break and does another sketch show, that's what it should be called.
Behave yourself,
Tim Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's the type of film where we can't really talk about what happens because that's very much the...
No.
Yeah. What I will say, though, is without spoiling it, there is a moment that involves a trip sequence.
Yes.
Like ayahuasca trip sequence. And...
The punchline.
That was just a brilliant scene. Like, when the punchline hits, I was like, oh, yeah. Because, like, when comedies do trip sequences...
Yeah.
because of the types of films that usually contain them.
Stoner Bros.
I do kind of go,
Yeah.
Because it never even though they are like stoners, typically they've done this kind of thing, it never feels like they get those experiences right.
Yeah, they never do it justice. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Fear and Loathing is one of the only ones we've seen where, like,
that is what it's
accurate.
like.
Yeah.
Whereas this film is like, right, this is what we're gonna do with that idea. Yeah. And I loved what they did with that idea.
It's great, yeah.
But yeah,
a man with a lack of imagination, let's say.
But yeah, I don't know. Disappointment is a strong word. I'm not disappointed with it.
I wasn't disappointed.
But I don't love it. And I'm disappointed that I don't love it rather than being disappointed in the film.
That's it. Yeah. When I think it occupies space in my brain where I'm happy with what it is. And like, I guess I wanted to love it, but okay. Yeah. You know, and like I said, not disappointment, purely just it occupies a certain space. And I will go back to it.
Yeah.
So maybe my opinion will change over time. It's one of those films where I can see that being the case.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think that's it, right? Okay. How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to talk about this, weren't we?
What's it about?
Have you seen the first How to Train Your Dragon? Because I think it's literally that.
It is literally that, yeah.
Like, not just in terms of its events and its scripts, but like pretty much shot for shot as well.
It's How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
You can't review it again. I mean, we haven't reviewed the first one, obviously, because it's 2009 or whatever.
Yeah.
2010?
10, yeah.
10, yeah. It's a weird one, this. It is a strange one. Like Lilo and Stitch, I have watched the original, all of the original films, and the sequels, but to little end.
Okay.
Right? As in, again, I don't have a strong memory of all of them. I think Dean Deblois, I think that's how you say his name.
Okay.
He writes and directs, as he did with the 3 animated films. I can't imagine devoting so much of your creative life to one thing. He must be proud of it. And I don't just mean one franchise. I mean, he's literally done his own film again.
Well, that's what's so strange about it, is that it's a live-action remake in the spirit of
the Disney stuff,
any Disney thing.
Yeah.
This obviously being DreamWorks.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first time they've done that.
I think so, yeah. God, could you imagine Shrek?
That'll be a spectacle, won't it? Or Kung Fu Panda.
A Shrek-ticle.
The Shrek-ticle.
Stupid.
But yeah, this is literally the same guy. This isn't someone putting a new spin on it or telling a story. It's the same guy making the same film.
That's why he's doing it.
Yeah.
So that someone else doesn't put a spin on it.
Well, because he said in interviews that, they were going to make it regardless.
With or without me.
And so I couldn't let them ruin it.
Yeah.
Which on the one hand, okay, I understand, I can follow the thinking there.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you made your How to Train Your Dragon, and people love your How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
So if they make a bad version of How to Train Your Dragon, what concern is it of yours?
But really, also, even if I'm going to do a live action version of my animated film, not even taking the essence or the ingredients and making something a little bit different, literally repeating it, doing exactly the same thing all over again, I would feel some compulsion. I wouldn't do it. But if you forced me at gunpoint to do a live-action remake of my own film, I would go, okay, can I do something different? Let me mix it up a little bit there.
Yeah.
But he's literally done the same. That's what I mean. Like, I can't imagine doing that. It takes years to make a film.
Yeah.
You know? And he's wasted to, not to say it's even bad, but it is just the fucking first film again.
And that's the thing, because this has been received very well.
Yeah.
And people
like it.
Like, not just people that enjoyed the first one, but people kind of saying, see, this is how you do a live-action remake.
Just do it.
You just literally do the film again.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know if that's a habit we want to be encouraging.
No, absolutely not.
Like remaking animated films, but in live action.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like anything this film does well. It's because the animated film did it well.
I really took against it.
Okay.
I must say. I found it a right slog, to be honest.
Okay.
It's visually...
And are you saying that... Like, what was your opinion of the animated original?
I liked it enough,
Okay.
Like... I don't have as high opinion of it as a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Of that franchise. But it's good, it's good. I think, so partly it was like the audacity, if you like. Just, my God. But it's visually quite flat.
Yeah, that is a problem.
The acting is big. Cartoonish, you could say. My heart sank when Julian Dennison appeared.
Okay.
In one scene, Nick Frost's character herds a dragon back into its pen, calling it an overgrown sausage. That felt like his audition to play Hagrid to me.
Oh, right.
He's very Hagrid in this. The old project aside, I don't like him outside of the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not a big Nick Frost fan.
Okay.
Without being overly familiar with the franchise, I can nevertheless tell it's redundant.
Yeah.
I mean, the dragon still isn't real.
Yeah, and it's it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, they haven't gone for a wildly different design or tried to ground it in like a photorealistic.
No.
And I know the thinking, I know the logic, I get it. It would be that the features need to be softened, the eyes need to be like kind of cute.
Yeah.
But they did it already.
Yeah.
They've done that.
No, they literally did. And it's, like when the dragon is flying around. Did I see an interview with the guy that was like... I mean, this might have been like him bullshitting his way through an interview.
Right.
Because there's like one or two clips I've seen where it almost feels like he kind of knows...
What if someone...
that this isn't like...
Okay, I want you to put your head... You're more familiar with them than I am, I think.
Okay.
Put yourself in the shoes of Dean Deblois.
Yeah.
Right? I'm an interviewer. Really now, you're under the microscope, okay? What's different about this than your animated film?
Well, it's live action for one thing.
Yes.
And so the advantage of doing that is that you can have, like, the performances you can get out of people are more real.
Okay.
And this is actually taken from one of his interviews. I think he said something along the lines of, we could make the flying more realistic.
Okay.
So I think he might have said like, oh, we built rigs or we built puppets or something, so that the characters could actually like act as though they were riding a real dragon, and we kind of animate around that.
Okay.
To which my thinking is, well, why did you go in that? Like, why did you not lean into that more? Not like have a puppet toothless, but like, kind of like do more of that stuff.
I suppose I would say, I'm not the interviewer now because I'd be fired. But I suppose I would say...
Yeah, I wasn't really committing to the bit either, I'll be honest.
I suppose I would say, I know that dragons aren't real.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to suspend a certain amount of disbelief.
Yeah.
An animated dragon, like, I don't need it to be realistic in that way, as long as it's realistic within its own context.
Well, I think that's what the animated film did all right. And most animated films kind of do this as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think even Lilo and Stitch does it to a certain degree. They take this completely unrealistic creature and they ground it in something that you can believe in. Yeah. So in this film, like, Toothless is basically a cat, right? In terms of the way he behaves, especially in the beginning when he's very not feral, but he's very cautious of Hiccup. Mm-hmm. And he's like very territorial and he doesn't like being approached, but he responds well to food. And then I think as the series goes on, he becomes more dog-like. Yeah. But you're you're using real animals behaviorally at the very least as like a frame of reference. So you can, even if the dragon isn't real and even if the human isn't real because it's animated, the relationship that they have is something that you can kind of invest in.
It makes me think weirdly of Herman Mankiewicz, who wrote Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
And he said, you can't depict a life. You can only give an impression of one.
Yes.
And with animation, you don't have to depict... As long as you give the impression of it. Yeah. That's all that matters. Yeah. Animation, that's what it is. It's impression, isn't it? Impressionism. Yeah. So yeah, this was not... The score is the same, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and so much of it is CG anyway. Why not just do it as a full-blown animation? Oh, wait. Yeah. We already have a release date for the second one, right? They are plowing on.
It was announced before the first one even came out. Before they even knew if this was a success or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I've got for it. I mean, it's a hearty non-recommendation.
Yeah, it's peculiar as well because one of the things that I like about the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is that they age the characters realistically between films. Yeah. So Hiccup is a child in the first one. Mm-hmm. Second one, he's kind of grown up. Yeah. And then the third one, he's even more grown up. Yeah. You've got real people now, so you're kind of constrained by reality in that respect. Yeah. Is it going to be the Bella Ramsey problem where you get to like the second film and the actor doesn't look old enough to be as old as the character's supposed to be? Right, exactly, yeah. They're not going to leave a sufficient amount of time between projects for them to age properly. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's kind of the reverse problem with the upcoming Harry Potter, isn't it? They are going to have to just keep that production rolling. Yeah. You can't take a year out. No, you are on a timescale with that. Yeah. Okay, what else is there? I mean, don't watch it. So even if you like the original How to Train Your Dragon animations, you would not recommend the remake? No, because it adds nothing. Nothing at all. If it just takes away. Because Jared Butler I found annoying in this. Right. Because he's being exactly the same as he is in the animation. Yeah. But it works in animation. Animation can be bigger. Yeah. It has to be bigger, for the most part.
Unless you're doing like, Waltz with Bashir or something.
Right.
Yeah, would you agree? I wouldn't recommend it even if you're a fan.
Yeah, well, I think when you initially asked me, because I saw it before you, I was like, well, I like the original, so that has sort of coloured my opinion of this.
Yeah.
Like, because it's the original. Mm-hmm. How could I not like it? Because it is the original.
Yeah.
But then, I guess the argument could also be, well, why would you like it?
Yes.
Just go watch the original. Like, there is no reason for this to exist.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. I don't think.
No. Okay. Enough said. Bring her back. Bring her back. Go on, finish
Bring her back. Bring her back.
Bring her back.
What a depressing
Bring
film.
her back, Sally. Okay. Yeah, no, is it depressing? I don't know. We'll get to it, I suppose. What's it about?
It's not fun, is it?
Well, I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not frothy. It's not a light-hearted.
It's not a romp, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
It's a chomp.
It's a chomp, indeed. Yeah. There's a blind girl and her...
Just the idea. It's not a romp. There's a blind girl. She has AIDS. She doesn't have AIDS.
Yeah, there's a blind girl and her stepbrother. Their father dies suddenly. So they end up in foster care. Mm-hmm. They are going to be split up, but the stepbrother insists on, no, I'm taking care of her. You can't separate us.
Yes.
And so they end up under the care of Sally Hawkins. And she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to be lovely. I'm going to be really nice to you and everything. Mm-hmm. But then something's up with her,
Yes.
And there's also a little boy that's already there.
Definitely something up with him.
There's definitely something up with him as well. It's a horror film. It's from the guys that did Talk to Me.
Yes.
But I don't think
they were YouTubers, right?
Yeah, they were YouTubers. Yeah. I don't think it's the same type of horror, though.
No.
It felt like more mature than I remember Talk to Me.
Yeah, Talk to Me was more gimmicky, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't have strong memories of that film, but this definitely feels better, an improvement.
Well, yeah, because Talk to Me was like, it was one of those horror films where it's about like an object. It's about like, oh, there's this hand where if you hold the hand, it possesses you.
Yes.
Whereas this film, it's more kind of about the emotions and the themes.
Psychological horror kind of thing. Yeah.
But there's also gore. I should probably say that.
Well, okay.
Like, this is a nasty film in that respect.
Yeah. Last episode, I railed against the notion that A24
you did.
Implies a certain type of film. And I stand by that for the most part. But yes, there are recurring characteristics, especially for their horror films. Domestic unease, to say the least. That moody colour grading, and creepy kids.
Yes.
So Hereditary is the obvious comparison, somewhat fairly. Both deal with grief. There's that sense of portent and mystery and encroaching terror. Both do their part to advocate the trend of full frontal male nudity. Here it's front-loaded, not on the back end, boom tish. And while Bring Her Back raises the pitch to full-on, it doesn't get as hysterical or uncomfortable or soul-sappingly dismal as Hereditary. It doesn't seep into your bones quite the same way. But it does its bit.
Gets under your skin at the very least, doesn't it?
Yes, it gets under your skin. It's bleak and has a nasty capillary running through it. It does gross, it does wince, it does shocking, it does grainy VHS footage, it does the odd jump scare, and there are some genuinely creepy moments. The dad outside the shower is what springs to mind for me.
Yeah.
And it managed to have real emotional weight as well, a deficit of which many comparable films suffer.
Yeah.
You even feel kind of bad for Laura by the end.
Okay.
For Sally Hawkins.
Yeah.
Sally Hawkins is very good, as ever, if initially a lot to take in her eccentricity.
Yes.
She's like a sinister version of her happy-go-lucky character. It's very skillful to strike similar energies to polar effects. Laura starts crossing the line a lot earlier than you'd expect. In these things, there's usually a lot more awkwardness and faux pas beforehand. Billy Barrett, the brother, is good. I can see big things for him.
Yeah.
I know it's a horror film and appropriately grim, but I really wanted Andy to best her.
Right.
I was so disappointed when he didn't. But such is the nature of the beast. That's not a criticism, it's just a lament.
Yeah.
And while it's not a deal breaker, the unexplained and all that, it would have been nice to know the provenance of the Russian tape.
Well, do you know what? I haven't looked into this too much.
Yeah.
And I would encourage people to go find this out.
Yeah.
I think there's a tie-in ARG where you can actually access the website that these tapes are sold on, quote unquote.
Okay, but that's, it should all be in the film.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the film gives you everything you need, right?
Not to know where that she gets it. I as far as I remember, like everything else I could put
I don't know how she ended up with the tape.
Yeah.
But the point is,
No.
she it's because of the tape. She knows what the ritual is.
Everything else I can put together.
Yeah.
It's the 2+2 thing. They don't spoon feed you, but I get everything else. I just don't know how she got the tape.
Okay.
And I feel like that would be a good thing to know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very, very solid horror indie that I recommend.
Yes.
Do you have anything else to say about it?
Again, I don't want to really go into the events too much.
Not the plot.
Because, it's the way that it kind of unfolds is... Like, I think it is a spoiler to kind of talk about what the film is because the reveal comes so late in the film.
Yeah, no, it's...
But at the same time, were you surprised? Like, the minutiae of it you might not have been able to guess. In terms of what specifically she needs to do during the ritual and why she has, surrounded herself with the people that she surrounded herself with.
My memory of it is that I feel I knew what she was up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the title.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. But it's, I wasn't surprised when the film kind of showed its hand.
No, I wasn't surprised, but I didn't find that a failure either.
No.
Because what I was surprised by was the pathos. Sally Hawkins is the villain of the film.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for her by the end.
Okay.
Not totally, not forgivingly.
No.
But I did feel, this is sad. This is sad what's happening. It's not just horrific, it's sad. And it you said it's nasty and it knows, it's a horror film. Things get bad.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I liked it quite a lot.
Yeah.
And, trust me, that's grudging. 'Cause YouTubers becoming filmmakers, I'm a bit like, fuck you. Even though if we ever do, I suppose technically. But we're not. Can you be a YouTuber if you're not successful at it? I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
But anyway, anything else to say about it? It's a weird one, because I think you can get it all out of the way quickly, but it's a big recommendation from me.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't feel like we've talked about it enough, given how positively I think people think of it. But at the same time, we don't want to
give anything away.
We don't want to give anything away. Yeah, I get, if you're squeamish, we are warning you.
It's a crunchy film.
Yeah.
Like I said, it makes you wince.
Yeah.
The parts like, and your face contorts, and I don't like that. I don't like it. Done very well.
Yeah. And it's nice as well, because the gore isn't the crutch. It's a consequence of the emotional turmoil.
That's right. It manages to kind of do all of them. It does the gross out. It does that crunchy, wincy stuff. It does the odd jump scare, and you don't mind the odd one, right? And it does creepy. It's like, you don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
And it's Australian, and it manages to make people with such a laughable accent, you take them seriously,
Well, that's why it works, because you haven't seen Happy Go Lucky, have you?
No.
But she is that character, Poppy, is the most optimistic character. What is she in this? It's a similar... No, it's Laura, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, her Poppy is the most positive person in the world. Like, oh, you didn't think that? Yeah. Like, that's her complete tone. And in this, she's doing that with an Australian accent.
Okay.
But no. And it's amazing how you can do that with very little change.
Yeah.
But to completely different effect.
Yes.
So, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, recommendation.
– 28 years later.
Yes. So this is a sequel to 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Not 28 Weeks Later?
They're all canon.
Okay.
But this basically ignores...
Yeah.
Nothing from that film is important.
Yes. This is more of a sequel to 28 Days Later.
Yes. The writer and the director are the same.
Both back.
Yeah.
Though, unfortunately, this sequel, 28 Years Later, was made 23 years after.
Yes.
So that's not on. Film was on a bad...
It's close enough.
It was a bad start, as far as I was concerned. The zombies, basically. They're not called... No, I think they're
infected, they're called.
Yeah, they're called infected.
The Swedish guy says zombie at one point.
Yeah.
But they're infected.
They're infected. Yeah. The UK is quarantined because...
It's a write-off.
Yeah, the UK mainland, it's like... There's no saving that shit.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world is fine.
Yes. It's just here.
It's just here. So we meet our main characters, who's this young boy called Spike, and his mother and father. They live on this island that's just off the coast.
Yeah.
This little colony of people that are surviving. And Spike is being taken to the mainland to hunt for the first time.
There's a causeway.
Yeah.
That it's only accessible during low tide.
Yes.
Yeah. Where they go to the mainland and forage and...
Absolutely. Yeah, he's foraging, he's hunting for the first time. Yeah. And then during the events of the film, he ends up learning that... Because his mother is not well.
Yes.
And he learns that there's a doctor on the mainland, and so he wants to take his mother to the doctor to cure her.
Yep.
So it's kind of... Like, not quite a road trip movie, but it's...
No, it's kind of... I mean, a lot of these zombie post-apocalyptic things, it's about getting from one place to another, right?
Yeah.
With hazards. in the way. It's good, this.
You like it?
Yeah.
You like it a lot?
I'll start by saying that.
Yeah.
It's good, this. There's a lot to like. The opening scene is rather horrific.
Yes.
And sets the tone nicely. We return to the punky feeling of the first film. The camera work and editing are odd and spiky and singular. The score is unconventional and counterintuitive to interesting effect.
Yeah.
There's no In the House in a Heartbeat, but that's okay. No fan service, you know?
Was that piece representative of the soundtrack of 28 Days Later as a whole?
Yeah, it comes from that, but the most famous scene where it's used is from 28 Weeks Later.
Okay.
The opening scene of that. Similar-ish opening scene to this.
Okay.
Because the house that's invaded. And,
yeah, because the score in this, it's very... it's like someone doing an impression of music, isn't it? It's not actually music.
It's very bricolage-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
And not even that a lot of the time. It's what's not the vibe. We'll do that then. That's what I'm saying. It's counterintuitive a lot of the time. It's okay, but it works.
Yeah. And this is not a negative.
No, it works.
It's so interesting.
It's Danny Boyle. He does this.
Okay.
He uses music very interestingly, you know? Trainspotting we think of as a very music-heavy film, but it fits nicely. But a lot of things he's done, they're just weird.
Okay.
They're not quite right. They employ something akin to the Matrix bullet time effect.
Yeah, they do. I think I saw the behind the scenes of this. They've got like a bunch of cameras or a bunch of iPhones on like a rig that's surrounding the actor. So yeah, there'll be a moment where a zombie will get shot, and then as they're kind of like mid-squib,
splatter, yeah,
the camera will kind of 360 around them.
Yeah.
But it's just like a bunch of still frames, and then it'll kind of carry on the other side.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not quite bullet time, but you are right. It's like,
that kind of effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just when I started worrying they were going to overuse it, they stopped.
Yeah.
So it's not overdone. Despite the hyper-kinetic style, and it is hyper-kinetic,
yes,
there are some gorgeous shots and tableaus. The one that stays with me is the Alpha waiting menacingly on the hill.
Oh, by that 6 feet under tree.
Yes, the 6 feet under tree. Yeah, exactly. The Alphas with their massive cocks.
Yeah. Male frontal nudity in this as well.
Yes.
And a fair bit of it.
The film isn't afraid to risk goofiness.
No.
But the Alphas are terrifying, I found. Zombies don't get to me. As a general rule, the more the milder.
Yeah.
But the infected are scarier than they've ever been here. The slow-lows are grotesque.
Yeah.
Imagine that's like worming its way toward you. I think visceral is the word for this film.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because the Alphas, when they first introduced the idea of the Alphas, I start to think, oh, I'm worried this is going to get a bit video gamey.
I was worried it was
going
going
to get... are the strong enemies that we're not leveled up enough to fight
Laurie.
Yeah.
Yeah, terms for in-world things. Yeah, me too. But that didn't pan out like that.
And they do kind of... There is a decent enough in-world explanation as to why the Alphas are so much stronger.
Yeah, some people, the infected, it's like steroids,
you
know? Yeah. And after 28 years, they would kind of break down into little categories, you know? Yeah, the world building is rich. The film takes place in Northumberland. All the characters have that very specific regional accent.
It's so British, isn't it?
It's very... Yeah, that's what I love about it as well. Like a Hollywood movie, basically. But it's like Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
I remember they flew in, was it John Lasseter, I think maybe?
Okay.
To like... Or someone, or the head of Disney maybe, Michael Eisner, to meet with Nick Park.
Yeah.
And they even had to like build an extra runway or something at Bristol Airport or something like that.
Right.
Or like elongate one. And they went, yeah, listen, here's American money. If you make these compromises, he's like, no. So, yeah, I love that.
Dude, it's Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, there's no American that pops up in this, you know, to appeal to the American market.
Even the one character where they could have done that
is Swedish.
He's Swedish,
yeah. There's a very pubby, knees-up spirit to the community. They all sing Delilah, which at this point in time feels more like a hymn than a standard.
Yeah.
You know? A portrait of Queen Elizabeth II hangs above them. There's this sense that what was once working class cultural tradition has been deified.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's an interesting... I didn't even... Because the film never brings it up. Do you think there's a Queen Elizabeth infected out there?
Good point.
Or would they have remained, like, safe inside Buckingham Palace?
I don't know, but what I like about this is that they've definitely thought it through. Like when they go into the petrol station and there's benzene that's degraded, so it's like just hanging in the air. They've thought through what would happen after 28 years.
Yes.
You know? Obviously animal populations have grown and all that kind of thing. I just love the look of it and its ideas. You know, the causeway, the return to medievalism, which they kind of complement with these weird little expressionistic montages of like Arthurian.
Yeah.
But just using footage from other films and your black and white footage, and obviously that 11, 12, 13, whatever.
I'm surprised, that showed up. Because that feels so
trailer
tailored,
concept.
yeah, tailored to a trailer.
Yeah. No, I liked it, and its score, and it does definitely make you feel, they're going into something not good.
Yeah.
It's crazy that the whole world isn't in this state, that it's just been quarantined to Britain.
You brought that up when we first, after we saw it together.
Yeah.
With pretty much every zombie project, it's a worldwide disease, isn't it?
Yeah. Because in this, with the Swedish guy, he shows them a picture of his girlfriend, which leads to a good joke about her lips.
Yeah.
But it's just like a hot girl in a club, typical picture.
Yeah.
And everything out the outside world is completely normal.
Yeah.
Not just not infected, but proper normal.
Yeah, because the Swedish guy was like, if I just made different life choices, I'd be sitting in traffic right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally jarring.
Yeah.
But unlike pretty much all of these zombie joints, it offers genuine hope. They're like, because this is a new trilogy, right? I don't expect at the end of this trilogy, Britain is going to get invaded and the zombies are all going to be...
Yeah.
But you can leave, you know?
Well, you can't, because
you can't, no. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not all doomed. Like The Walking Dead, how many fucking seasons? And it's like, but what's going to change?
Yeah, literally at the end of season 1, they're like... Yeah,
no cure.
We're all infected.
Yeah.
So you're going to turn when you die.
Yeah.
And there is no cure.
Yeah.
Ta-ra.
12 seasons later. Yeah. The cast is great. Alfie Williams, the rare and annoying child lead.
Yeah.
And not to damn the faint praise, he's good. He's very good in it.
Genuinely good.
Yeah. Jodie Comer is always fantastic, but particularly here.
Yeah.
As is Ray Fiennes, one of the greatest actors evs of all time. I enjoyed the alas poor Eric moment. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Yorick. But obviously because Fiennes won a Tony for playing Hamlet. So there's a nice kind of thing there as well. And god damn it, Aaron Taylor-Johnson is a solid, likeable presence too. You smell that? It's the intestines. I really like it.
Yeah, very endearing portrayal of that character.
Yeah. And despite him trying to stay strong for his son, Spike, he responds correctly to encroaching terror. Shit!
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking hell! No, it's really good.
Yeah.
On top of everything else, it manages to be emotionally affecting. It actually is about family.
Yeah.
as opposed to Vin Diesel's, purportations, if that's a word. Spoiler, I won't say exactly what, but the big victory of the film is Spike coming to terms with the inevitability of death.
Yes.
That's the victory. And it's very symbolically represented as climbing higher. And the ending is daring and fucking mental.
Yeah. Everyone
we should talked
about that ending when the film came out.
We should talk about it because it's not...
Well, on the one hand, it's a shame to focus in on a film's ending, but at the same time, I feel like the film did have an ending before this scene.
Yeah. This is a post-credit scene, essentially.
Yeah.
But they've just put it... It's because it sets up the sequel.
Yeah. And it also pays off the opening scene. But
it does, yeah. It's not completely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But the tone of it is unexpected.
Absolutely.
Explain it. What happens?
Oh, I get the honours, do
you
I?
do.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. So Spike.
Yes.
I remembered. Spike.
He's a good lad.
He's a good lad.
Yeah.
Good lad, Spike. He goes back to the mainland on his own.
Yeah. He chooses to stay because he's become disillusioned with the community because he kind of finds out his father has lied to him about some things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he just wants to be on his own. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So he's gone back to the mainland. He's just kind of surviving. He's at a campsite, kind of cooking himself dinner. Mm-hmm. These infected start running towards him. So he shoots them, but then that encourages other infected to come. So he runs away, but then he finds himself met with like a barrier.
Yeah, a rock slide.
A rock slide has kind of filled a valley. So he can't go forward, he can't go back. Mm-hmm. So he's making his final stand. And then...
someone appears.
Yeah. The guy appears, who we saw in the opening sequence as a child.
As a child, yeah. Now, where like he's in a room with all these kids watching Teletubbies.
Yeah.
And then all the children get devoured.
Yes.
By the infected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he runs to his father, who's a priest, who's obviously like this, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Mental?
Yeah, no, definitely mental. Eschatological type of chap.
Okay.
Who sees this as, the God's judgment.
Yes.
Like the end of the world. It's glorious. It's not something to be scared of. Yeah. And then he gets turned. He gives the little boy, Jimmy, his crucifix.
Yeah.
And then there's this neat little thing where as he's running away, the crucifix turns upside down. Yeah. Yes. And then in the end of the film, this chap turns up wearing the upside down
crucifix. Yes. Jimmy turns up with a whole crew
of Jimmy's.
Of Jimmy's.
Yeah.
And he, in fairness, asks Spike permission to intervene.
Do you think we can help out?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gone for a very interesting Scottish accent. I love him already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they take out the infected
Yes.
to a thrash metal, heavy metal rendition of the Teletubbies theme.
Yeah.
And like they're not just like stabbing or what, there's like kung fu flips.
It's an acrobatic disposal of
it's like sawing infected in half and
yippying and then they go like, how's that? When they're done, they do this little like Karate Kid style move. Yeah.
And so the film ends with these people that you've literally just met kind of approaching Spike and being like, let's be friends.
Pals.
And let's be pals. And the one detail that we haven't said,
the important one
is they're all very clearly dressed up like Jimmy Savile.
Yeah.
Which, like a well-known thing in the UK, I don't know how much international traction that has.
It made like headlines when it first broke.
Yeah.
But mainly, obviously they don't know who the fuck he is in America. It was more the joke on all the late night talk shows was they'd show a picture of Jimmy Savile and go, they didn't know this guy was a paedophile.
Yeah. Children's entertainer, like had multiple shows and multiple charities that involved working with children. Turns out he was fucking awful.
One of the most prolific sexual predators, probably. Ever. Gnarly character.
Yeah,
they're modelled after him.
Yes.
And I think the idea is, they might unpack it in the sequel, that this kid, obviously the world went to shit when he was 9, 10,
yeah, like 2002, I think, right?
Yeah. And so he's raised himself and so has modelled this personality after TV that he grew up watching.
Yeah.
And in this world, Jimmy Savile's crimes never came to light.
Yes.
So it's a very provocative ending. And I love the studio just like, okay. I mean, I don't know how fervently they argued for it.
Yeah.
But they let them do it. And that is amazing to me. And it is proper bonkers. And like, there were all these thought pieces about it when the film came out. Like, a lot of people seeing this don't know there are sequels, and they think that's just the ending of the film.
Yeah.
I commend it so highly. I just think it's such a ballsy thing to do.
Absolutely, because it's there is enough there to kind of send your mind racing, as indeed it has with ours. It's like you're saying, like, oh, is that what's happening? Is he's modelling himself after his childhood heroes? And they've picked Jimmy Savile specifically because, as you say, in this version of the world, we never knew what he really was.
Yeah, only we know, only the audience know. That's an interest. It's like Midnight Mass almost.
Yeah, there's a tragedy that only the audience will ever be aware of.
Yeah,
because there's not a single person alive in the universe that film that can say to him, you know, this Jimmy Savile guy, you shouldn't think of him as a hero, right? Yeah,
but it's also interesting because they've said the second film is about evil.
Yeah,
that's the theme. It's evil, and Jimmy Savile certainly connotes that.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, because I don't think it's, he tragically has moulded himself after Jimmy Savile. Because while there's nothing kind of explicitly sinister, other than the fact he's dressed up as Jimmy Savile, they just help this kid out and then says, let's be pals. There is definitely an underbelly of, this ain't a good thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that he's the villain of the next, like, that cult.
Okay.
Is a villainous cult. So it's probably just, because they're embodying Savile, it's a good way of quickly getting to that.
Okay.
But I'm very curious to see what they do with it. No, I don't think he's a good guy.
Okay.
This Sir Jimmy Crystal.
Sir Jimmy Crystal. But I think what's nice about it, though, is now having actually seen the film, that scene is the thing that you come away thinking about.
Yeah.
But it didn't overshadow the film that came
It's
before.
not the film.
No,
it's not the film. Now, this is a trilogy. Danny Boyle, they shot the first and second back-to-back.
Okay.
Danny Boyle is not helming the next installment.
Oh, right.
It's Nia DaCosta who did Candyman. But he said he is doing the last one.
So that's interesting.
It's interesting, but at least we know, even if the second one is, at least he's coming back for the third one.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But I'm very down for this trilogy.
Okay.
I think this is my favourite film of the year so far.
Wow, you really do like it?
I really like it. Yeah. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's the thing that need be highlighted the most.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the type of film where people will be turned off by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of the course when you're creating something that is so its own beast.
Yeah.
Like this film, the only way I can think of describing it is that in terms of like the filmmaking and everything, this film just isn't behaving itself.
No, absolutely.
There's no like...
Yeah, it's like Tim Robinson. It's like a thing that just isn't right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you have editing that like in any other context would be seen as jarring and objectively bad.
Yeah, there's a bit where Jodie Comer is outraged that Aaron Taylor Johnson is taking their son to the mainland and she calls him a cunt. And there are about 7 cuts as she screams cunt.
Yeah.
Like different angles.
Yeah, breaking
like,
the 180 rule. And
Yeah.
just like needless cuts and editing.
Yeah, manic.
Yeah.
Frenzied.
But that's the thing, it all does kind of help paint the picture of this is a world that, like, there's no...
It's just gone to shit.
Yeah, there are no rules anymore. There's no propriety.
Yeah.
Why would the film behave itself?
It is punk. It's very punk.
Yeah.
You know, counterintuitive, unconventional. I loved it. I really, really loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what else can I say?
Yeah.
Obviously, I recommend it.
Yeah, I do as well. And I think what's nice about it, if you don't like this film, or if you don't like what this film is doing, you'll know very quickly.
Yes. No,
so
absolutely.
You have the opportunity to jump off the train if you're not enjoying it.
The opening sequence, like, that's the tone. It gets it. So if you're not into it, check out. But also a good opportunity to revisit 28 Days Later, which isn't quite as insane as this. But a very, very good film in its own right.
No, because I did ask you, didn't I, is this of a kindred spirit with 28 Days Later in terms of the way it conducts itself? And you said that it was filmed on VHS, right?
Like camcorder, yeah. So it doesn't look the same.
No.
But they do have a kindred spirit in that they're fuck convention.
Yeah. And because they're now filming on proper cameras and iPhones, it doesn't look that way.
No.
But it sounds like they found a way of translating that punk spirit into something else.
Definitely.
So I admire
there's no punkier thing than that ending.
Yeah.
That's proper brave.
Yeah.
In an artistic context.
And it's kind of nice as well as like an aspiring filmmaker. I feel like before we've had conversations like in the context of like bad indie films.
Yeah.
Mouse of Horrors, Piglet, those kinds of films where it's like, these films, like, we all know going in, you didn't have a budget to work with, you don't have resources.
Right.
And yet the films still feel like they're trying to conduct themselves as though they're doing, like, a proper film. It's like they're too afraid to be seen as not behaving and not trying.
Yeah. They're faking it till they're making it, but that's contrary to their...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas what was nice about 28 Years Later is it shows that attitude of, like, well, we don't have resources, we don't have budget, so we're just going to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
That doing whatever you want is scalable.
Yes.
You can do a big film with this budget, on this scale, with this wide appeal, with a story and a type of genre that has been done 1,000 times before.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And I just think Danny Boyle is establishment insofar as he directed the Olympics opening ceremony.
Yes.
But for that, he was offered a knighthood, which he declined.
Yeah.
Because I think an artist really has to be outside of things.
Yeah.
And whatever you think, that's not an anti-royalist thing, like, whatever you think of them. But yeah, no, it's good to be, you need that countercultural streak in you if you're going to be an artist. You're supposed to be not part of everyone else. You're supposed to be looking in from the outside.
Absolutely.
So yeah, big, full-throated, every thumb up, and my toe thumbs, all recommend it.
Yes.
Yeah. Superman.
Yes.
Is
it a bird? Is it a plane? Oh, look, it's a good Superman film.
Okay, we're not burying the lead then.
No.
Okay.
Well, like...
No, I know, it's...
we are vocal in our...
distaste
for the Snyder Bros and this like little culture of people that are like, oh, the Man of Steel films were actually really great, you just don't appreciate them.
Right.
No, they weren't.
No. They absolutely weren't.
There are things about Man of Steel that are to be admired.
Yes, the first one has its moments.
Yeah, it does have its moments, but yeah, it's not a good Superman film.
No.
And the universe that it birthed was a failure.
Yes.
Like, demonstrably. Yeah. So, I don't like... And I'm not alone in this. We're not alone in this. Yeah. It's so saddening that it doesn't feel like people have been talking about this film properly. It's been through the prism of, oh, it's the James Gunn stans versus the Zack Snyder bros, and like, oh no, like you can either think like, oh, though this film is a total disaster, Zack Snyder had it right the first time. What a terrible shame that DC didn't see his vision for the genius that it was.
Right.
Or you've got a bunch of people saying, oh, this James Gunn film is amazing, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
And we have to put this film up on a pedestal to kind of highlight the fact that this is so much better than what came before.
I haven't encountered the latter so much as the former. Like, to me, it was always Snyder Bros and other people.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Gun Bros. You know what I mean?
I think they're a much smaller group.
Okay.
But I think I have seen that where people are kind of, let's tone that down a little bit, because it's not like the masterpiece.
It's not a masterpiece.
No.
It's not perfect. It blows the Snyderverse out of the water.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the plot?
Well, there's actually quite a lot going on, isn't there?
Well, I think we can just get away with the basic setup because hopefully everything else will be covered by what we say.
It's kind of like the Batman, 2022's Batman, in the sense that this is not a Superman origin story. That's happened.
It's happened.
We haven't seen that.
No.
That origin story film is implied.
Yes.
And I think they can get away with that because it's Superman. Everyone knows what a Superman is.
Yeah. Yeah, so Superman has recently stopped an army from invading another country.
Yeah.
Baravia and Jaranpur, right?
Yeah.
Fictional countries. And this has caused outrage all over the world. Like, okay, who the fuck is he? But wasn't it good? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then otherwise, he's just going about his business being Superman, saving Metropolis from kaijus and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Lex Luthor is attempting to destroy him.
Yeah.
He studied him, learned all his moves, all that kind of thing. That's your basic setup. Should we talk about our experience of watching it?
Okay.
Because it's the first cinema experience we've had in a long time.
Yeah, we went to go see it together.
Yeah, and it wasn't a promising start. There were...
This has nothing to do with the film, by the way.
No, I know.
But thankfully, because this did pass.
Yeah, but it feeds into it a little bit. So there were 3, 10, 11-year-olds.
Oh, I thought they were older than that.
Maybe 12.
Okay.
Yeah, 12. Let's go with 12. Who were just talking and on their phones. And they must have had an app where you can put in text and it reads it out in an Alexa style voice. So chicken burger, that's one of them, wasn't it? Through the adverts. And there were these girls laughing, so that was kind of
gassing them up. Yeah.
And I think when we walked in, I think the film started at 6:00 and we walked in at 5:57.
Right.
Okay? And these kids, I heard them amongst each other going, "Oh, so weird. The film starts at 6, but everyone's coming in at 5:57. What's that about?" I don't even know what that means. I mean, you're already here. Anyway, that was something else. And then the film started. It starts with a shot of Superman having recently been beaten, lying on the snow near the Fortress of Solitude. And then one of them was cold as ice, literally, really loudly. He was like, okay, this is going to be a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Because I'm bad anyway in the cinema. Anything's a distraction.
Yeah.
But they were I was explaining this to my father. He looked at me with this typical, you're weird kind of thing. I was like, no. Believe me, everyone was annoyed.
Yeah.
People on their row, I could see them exchanging glances.
There was definitely this sense in the air of so who's going to go and tell them?
And I was very worried because I felt it was me.
Yeah.
And I've never done that. But I thought, no, before I go to a cinema employee and ask them to be removed, I'm going to have to say something to them.
Okay.
And I was just on the fucking cusp of that when they left. Right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I was rehearsing it because I've never done anything like this before. Oh my God, I'm an adult now. This is what you have to do. I was literally just going to go, boys, be quiet. That was going to be I wasn't going to say shut the fuck up. I was going to, boys, be quiet. And if they hadn't been quiet, I would have gone and gotten kicked out. But then they left. My assumption is that they were dropped off by their parents, bought a ticket for a film they could get into, and then stuck into another one.
Right.
Because why else? They left after 5 minutes.
Yeah, or they
just went off and did their own thing.
Yeah, they were bored, or they were trying to. They went there specifically to get a reaction out of people, and then when no one was really,
but they had to pay to get in. I don't know.
Well, who knows?
Yeah, I know. But that's this day and age. It costs a tenner to go to get a ticket. It costs 12 quid for popcorn and a drink.
Yeah,
it's 25 quid to go to the cinema. It is a proper. That's an outing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so. I was nervous because this is going to ruin the film. Yeah. So then when they left, there was an hour of pure relief that characterized my experience. Okay. That's the only reason it feeds into it because I was like, okay, am I liking it more than I should because of the relief? But then other things annoyed me, so it brought me back down to earth. Okay. But no, it wasn't pure relief. It's actually good. Okay. David Corenswet is good. He harkens back to the Christopher Reeve era, but with enough dash of the modern. Okay. He's barely Clark Kent in this, which is fine. We get it. Yeah. He's in it for 5 minutes and we get it. Rachel Brosnahan is good. Plucky woman of the 21st century without the feminist spiel. They work very well together. Their romance is marginally steamier than it has been before. Okay. It isn't just gently hovering and making out now, he lifts her up onto the counter. Yeah. But okay, but that was a bit, all right. Yeah, well, I mean... Clark. Yeah, pure... you're a pure boy. You're a pure man. Yes.
You know, you're an innocent, pure, naive person.
Yeah, I don't want Superman fucking.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And he does, like, we don't see that.
We don't see it, no.
But at the same time, like, they have been dating for a little bit. Like, not,
Yeah.
We, like, when we come into the film, everything has already been happening
set
for a
up.
while.
Yeah.
And, like, it poses the same question that we kind of had during the Batman, which was, I don't want to see another Superman origin story, but have we overcorrected?
We'll definitely get into that, okay?
Okay.
So, Nicholas Hoult is that fun mix of petty, brilliant, and psychotic.
Yeah.
Pick That Up is one of his better moments.
Yes.
He just throws a mug on the floor, pick that up to his underlings.
And then they do, and he immediately knocks
does it again,
yeah.
Nathan Fillion is Nathan Fillion. He's fun. Eddie Gathegy's Mr. Terrific is a highlight.
Yeah.
Zlatko Buric, the Baravian dude.
Oh, yes.
He is the pure visage of demagoguery.
Okay.
He looks like a Hungarian philosopher or a Serbian conductor. With his horse painting, he's Putin, minus the trimness. He's the colonial aspirations of Putin with the aspect of an Eastern European tyrant from a third-rate B movie.
Okay.
And Skylar Gizondo's Jimmy Olsen is somehow a P magnet.
Right.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
That's kind of a joke.
Jimmy Olsen is like, what? Why? What?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Ma and Pa Kent was something of a departure. For one thing, the latter's alive.
Yeah.
And the former is typically endowed with a pathos that's absent here, partly no doubt because she's not a widow now. She's basically a goofy but adoring hick. The more emotional stuff is left to Pruitt Taylor Vince's Jonathan. When he tells Clark that he's proud of him, it managed to have weight despite the fact that we spent no time with these characters.
Yeah.
I think maybe a father saying that to his son is on its own terms powerful enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The actors were given tapes of Richard Christie's Kansan Parents to master the accents. Now, no one's going to know who this is.
Okay.
The Howard Stern show, it's no point explaining it, but there's a guy on that show called Richard Christie who's a Kansan. Their accents like that, I don't know. Yeah, he's that kind of guy. Known for being disgusting and a brilliant metal drummer and liking horror things. And his parents were even more Kansan than him, you know. And they would play voicemails of his parents on the show, where they're going, we went to Taco Tico's and you're going to want to sit down for this and close now. And like that kind of thing. And they eat roadkill and they're proper like rednecks. And I think Gunn is a fan.
Right.
Because Richard Christie has a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, right.
So he asked Richard Christie, can I get tapes of your parents for the actors to learn the accents? And Jonathan briefly mentions a burrito place the family frequented. That's got to be a reference.
Right, okay.
To Taco Tico or whatever.
Yeah.
Crypto, the dog, he's been front and centre of the marketing, which is understandable because dog.
Yeah.
And I had no problem with him. He just wasn't a highlight for me like he is for a lot of people.
Okay, I do like what they've done with him, though.
Yeah, no, it works.
I don't have much history with the character. I think my only real exposure to Crypto has been... Like, he had his own show that I watched when I was a kid. And I think he was in, like, the Super Pets film that was out, like, a couple of years ago.
I think I knew the bit of trivia that Superman had a dog sometimes.
Yeah.
But nothing else.
And that dog is basically Superman, but a dog.
Yes.
Like, he speaks and he holds the same ideals as Superman. But he's just a dog.
Yes.
You know.
In this, he's just a dog.
No, literally, in this, he is just a dog that is like
like
wild.
A fly and strong.
Yeah, and he like doesn't listen and he plays.
Yeah,
and he's a problem.
He's a not very good dog, I think is how they said it.
Yeah, and I think that works. I think that was a good way of doing it.
And kids will like him.
Yeah.
I saw them like him.
And this is kind of one of the annoying things to sort of put it in perspective for people that might have thankfully escaped the Zack Snyder
whirlpool.
Yeah, and
Maelstrom.
eulogies and all sorts that have been going out there. One thing that I saw as like apparent evidence that this was a bad film was that I think James Gunn's actual dog was scanned, and they used that scan as like the model for Crypto.
Okay.
So they were like, oh, what a fucking narcissist, he's using his own dog.
Snyder is above indulgence. Yeah.
But it's like, he just turned him into it. He just put his own dog in the film rather than actually adapting Crypto.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know did you take note of the child in the cinema with us? There was a row of kids that had gone with their I don't know whether like a friend outing.
This is separate from the other.
This is children. These are children.
Okay.
If he was autistic or retarded, I give him a break.
Okay.
But there was one kid who was like got very excited.
Yeah.
And whenever something exciting was happening on screen or Crypto showed up, he was kind of maddeningly gesticulating, kind of doing that in his seat. And I was like, okay, that's a lot.
Okay.
And like when Superman was fighting, he would mimic the punches and stuff like that.
Right.
But whenever Crypto showed up, he got very excited. And it's his mother's fault because before the film started, they were going to the toilet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed her skipping across the cinema.
I didn't know.
Okay. So they're one of those families, like, express yourself. Anyway,
right.
I've heard some people complain that Crypto saves the day too much, but I'm sure many of these are the same people that worship Snyder, so, you know.
Okay.
Superman is beaten down a lot in this film, which I guess isn't as bitchin' as the invincibility of the Cavill depiction.
Yeah.
Lest we forget, though, these aren't sports rankings.
No,
right?
and that's kind of nice, isn't it? Because I feel like that's a conversation that's often had whenever there's a new Superman, a new version of Superman. It's like, well, Superman is an all-powerful...
Yeah.
Like, he's just the top, so nothing can beat him.
Yeah,
we literally had to invent a weakness in Kryptonite because of how powerful he is.
Yeah.
So, having this version of Superman be a bit more human, and, like, he does get beat up, and he is defeatable in the sense that
he's vulnerable.
You can beat him in a fight.
Yeah.
Like, Lex Luthor has worked out a way of beating him in a fight. And he's managed to boil that down to a very easy-to-use system.
Yeah.
He's literally just calling out codes.
A2, C6,
that correspond to, like, counterattacks.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good way of showing off, like, Lex Luthor's intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, just the, like, seeing Superman get beaten up and bleed and be weak and struggle.
Yeah,
like, that's actually kind of nice.
But it's people going, like, oh, but he's not as, like, strong as the Snyder one. That was better. And it's like... These aren't like tennis rankings.
Yeah.
This is top trumps where if you play a 10, I'll just make up an 11 then.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I'll do Superman that literally is completely omnipotent and on. It's like, yeah, it's just people making shit up. It's not. Anyway, Cornsworth Superman has vulnerability. He's superhuman with the emphasis on the human, right? But his relative incapacity here points to one of the more interesting aspects of the thing that you've already flagged. It's a sequel.
Yeah.
To a film that doesn't exist. But so entrenched in culture is the lore of Superman. We feel we watched it.
Yeah.
There were times in this I felt I was kind of watching it side by side, almost like slaughtering the pieces together in my head.
Yeah.
You establish his strength in the first film. In the second, he can have his losing streak, you know?
Yeah.
It's in Spider-Man 2 that Peter Parker begins to have doubts and loses powers. It's in The Dark Knight where the unstoppable Batman meets the immovable foe. While they've never met... Holt's Lex Luthor has learned everything he can about Superman. Like you said, he directs the fights against him.
That was what was... I think I flagged that up with you as well. Like, it's strange. Not necessarily a problem. Mm-hmm. I just found it strange. Like, when Lex Luthor and Superman first meet face-to-face in this film, it's actually the first time that they meet.
Yeah.
Even though Lex Luthor is fighting Superman in the beginning, Superman is fighting him.
Yes.
They've never actually met.
Yeah.
And so when they have their first meeting, like he walks into the room and Lex Luthor is like, Superman, finally, we meet.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just used to the fact that everything's already been established. So the fact that this is new, like, that was a weird moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. But like the robots in the Fortress of Solitude. In the first one, he discovers it.
Yeah.
In the second one, he has the robots, you know? It's definitely a sequel thing. Kaijus, there's something of a banality in Metropolis already. Like, that was a fun take. I liked that.
Yeah.
But they're just there all the time. Like, there's literally a scene where there's a fight happening in the background.
Yeah.
They're so banal.
Yeah, when she's like, you're going to get that? And Superman's like, oh, it's
They
fine.
got it.
Yeah.
By the by, Gunn has a thing for eyes.
Yeah?
Yeah, in the Suicide Squad, when they jump into the big starfish eye.
Yeah.
In this, they're like poking at the eye of the big...
yeah.
He's got a thing for eyes.
Okay.
Superman knows the Justice Gang already. They're familiar with each other.
Yeah.
He learns the truth of his heritage. That's proper second movie stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that the big revelation, wasn't merely conquer the planet, son. It was, and take its women for your harems.
Yeah.
That's proper, like, nasty. It's like... there was some tension sometimes, like you say, about us having to fill in the gaps on our own. But I think by the end, you're satisfied.
I think so.
Yeah. In line with that feeling of just being dropped into this world, we start with a literal cold open, hot on the heels of his first defeat.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know what I was doing.
Good, okay.
with the enemy hot on his trail. I did it twice, you see. Incidentally, I like the detail of metahumans having first appeared 300 years ago.
Yeah, none of this is new.
Yeah.
Literally none of this is new.
We're used to it. It's all bright and colourful. The effects are neither distracting nor disappointing. And I really enjoyed the Chiron metahumans kill thing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that killing, it's one that Superman protests, you know? His characterization is spot on.
Oh, the killing of the kaiju.
The killing of the kaiju, yeah.
Yeah, he saves a squirrel.
He literally saves a squirrel.
Yeah.
Like, his expletive is good gosh.
Yeah.
You know? And there is kind of a very quick mid-credit scene where, toward the end of the film, there's a big divide that's kind of splitting the city into, and then they put it back together. And it's him and Mr. Terrific looking at a building that's just not quite, hasn't started quite.
Yeah.
And Superman's like, it's just not perfect, is it? And Mr. Terrific's like, fuck it, what do you want from me? And then Superman is to himself, he's like, oh, I'm such a jerk sometimes. Like, that's the kind of guy he is.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, he wanted to take the kaiju to an intergalactic zoo or euthanize it less painfully, is what he says. When he fights Lex Luthor's sidekicks, he tries talking them out of it first.
Yes.
You don't have to do everything he tells you to do. He tries to save everyone and everything.
Yeah.
And making that a focal point of the action sequences was smart.
Yeah.
Old school, that's kind of how they used to do it. He's not punk rock. When Lois tells him that he treats everyone as if they're beautiful, he responds that maybe that's the real punk rock. And there was something there about conservatism being the new counterculture.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that's true anymore either. I think culture's just too fragmented for there to be a real antithesis to anything.
Yeah.
But all that points to the political stuff that's there if you want it. No doubt there are obvious real-world parallels to be drawn. Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine. Baravia invades Jarenpol. Baravia is Russia, sure. But Jarenpol is more Palestine.
Okay.
And that made it just muddy enough that it didn't get in the way.
Yeah, you're kind of combining two conflicts, so it's like...
There's no quick analogue.
Yeah, it's not a clean parallel that you're drawing.
Yeah, the one wrinkle is that Baravia is an ally, i.e. Israel. Do you know what I mean? But it's just not a realistic analogy anyway.
Yeah.
If anything, it's the Soviet Union and Afghanistan.
Okay.
I don't really think it's meant to function as commentary. It's powerful, evil country invades small, helpless country. That's it, right? There's also a moment after they arrest Superman where he protests that his rights haven't been read. And General Flagg responds that extraterrestrial organisms have no rights to read. Okay, ICE and the Mexicans, if you want.
Right.
But also, aliens wouldn't, would they?
No, very true, yeah.
They wouldn't.
What law is governing these
Exactly.
beings?
I don't have a problem with Superman being a global symbol of hope.
Yeah.
Even if I'm pro-America and I think it's the ultimate bee's knees on paper. Truth, justice, and the American way does feel parochial now. Superman was created in a context of surging fascism and a smaller world. Besides, if you need to keep tirelessly espousing the virtues of America, that it's the greatest, maybe it should speak for itself.
Yeah.
You know? It's okay for him to be the defender of life. All life.
Yeah.
And Gunn does try and deal with that sensibly. The scene where Lois interviews Clark, the best in the film for my money, does a lot of work. Lois is the one with the head on her shoulders, talking about the geopolitical fragility and him inserting himself into complex affairs. His simple, desperate response is, people were going to die. And it is powerful. We admire his purity and his heart. If only the world could be so. But this is a fantasy. He's a Superman. In a sense, he doesn't have to follow the same rules. But his idealism is depicted as naive.
Yeah.
I don't know if that can go anywhere in the grand scheme of things, because he has to be Superman.
Yeah.
But at least Gunn has made some effort to address that conflict.
No, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And I think it's used nicely as well in other ways. Like that scene where Superman is kind of locked in that interdimensional prison.
Yes.
And Lex Luthor brings a citizen Metropolis along to kind of like encourage Superman to tell him what he wants.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm going to shoot this guy if you don't tell me. Mm-hmm. And Lex Luthor does kill this guy in front of Superman.
Yeah. Just shoots him in the head.
Shoots him in the head, and Superman can't save him.
Yeah.
And it's devastating to him. And you do feel the devastation of it. Like, oh, fuck, someone died.
Moments that needed punch had them.
Yeah.
Yeah, his murder. It's not total candy floss, you know?
Yeah.
And Hawkgirl murders the Bravian president. That is kind of a punchline-y kind of thing. But still, like you said, there's a body count in this film.
I just really like the camera work in this film.
Yeah. Again, not to overuse punky enough.
Yeah,
you know,
because it's like ultra wide, right?
Yeah,
ultra wide lenses, and the camera is fucking moving through these scenes.
Yeah. No, we know where we are in time and space. You know,
which is nice given that there's so much movement. You never lose track of the geography of the scene.
No. Absolutely. Yeah. And the lighting is very similar to the Suicide Squad. It had a similar texture to it.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Oh, it's so bright and colourful.
Yeah. But James Gunn is the MVP of this film. Mostly because he gets out of his own way.
Yeah.
He's clearly a comic book geek with a particular fondness for the satellite characters. But that doesn't stop him from making a proper film. It's not pure indulgence in his fandom.
I've seen people say that, because, he's famous for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
He's famous for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
If you want to, maybe you could throw Scooby-Doo into that as well.
Sure.
He does team movies, doesn't he?
Yes.
Team-up films, like he's used to writing whole teams of people with like fun dynamics.
Yeah.
And this is, first and foremost, a Superman film. Mm-hmm. So you would assume that wouldn't be conducive to his style. Because he also does kind of, and I don't think you can include Scooby-Doo in this, and also kind of not Guardians of the Galaxy, it's more Suicide Squad. You'd think he was a bit too edgy in some ways for Superman, but he's adapted himself nicely to fit within that. It doesn't feel like someone who's not fit to make a Superman film is struggling to make a Superman film. He kind of knows when his trademarks are needed and when they're not.
It's with something that has like a devoted fandom. My logic, conventional logic, is you need an outsider. Someone who doesn't care about getting every little detail right. Nolan with Batman. I know Christopher Nolan is not a Batman comic nerd. I just know it, okay? But yeah, James Gunn is. So it's good that he's reined himself in, you know? Because some have criticised the tone, that the snarky cynicism that he brings to other projects doesn't work for Superman. I found it did, mostly because it didn't feel cynical at all.
Well, and also Superman is not doing that. It's being done to Superman. And so there's an interesting... There's something worth exploring there. Yeah.
It had the snark. It did. That similar sense of humour. But it was, at its heart, earnest. There was sincerity when it was required, and it didn't feel like lip service. At the end, where he, faces up to Luthor, and he's like, "You don't get that that's one thing you've never understood. I am human. I fail." It's not like didn't feel cheesy.
No,
it was like that was the arc of this film. This is set in the same universe as Peacemaker and Creature Commandos.
Okay.
If we're gonna do cinematic universes, I'd sooner keep it purely to cinema. I don't really care about those shows, but you gotta commend Gunn's work ethic. He's written everything so far. Every episode of those shows. Every episode of season 2 of Peacemaker, Superman. He's got to be writing constantly, the mad, talented bastard. And the mention of a pocket universe in this made my stomach drop. But it's not what you think, and it's not what it could have been. The troll monkeys were a little on the nose, but it is just a throwaway.
It literally is a throwaway thing where I was like, okay. Like, I don't know if that is referencing some comic book thing.
No, that's just internet trolls.
Because I thought, that's kind of like a how lucky for you, James Gunn, that there's some source material you could pull on,
right?
But it probably is literally just like monkey typewriter.
But that was typewriter, But there was my main worry going in, and other people had said it, is there was overstuffed with stuff. It's not. There's a lot of characters, a lot of things, but it's never overladen.
No, and I don't think there's anything where you can go, that could be lifted out with minimal consequence.
No, definitely.
Things do feed into each other, and you've got the Superman stuff, you've got the Lois Lane stuff, you've got like the Justice Gang have their own little threads as well. Obviously, there's the Bravia stuff, there's Lex Luthor's plans, there's all of these different things that are layering on top of each other. But it feels like they're all, like I said, they're all informing each other.
All of that stuff doesn't stop it from being a Superman film.
And there is that as well. That there's no... Because I'd heard as well, they're like, halfway through it becomes a Justice Gang film.
That's not true.
That's not true. There are a couple of sequences, like Mr. Terrific's action sequence when they go to where the portal is. It's like, that feels like a very James Gunn action scene.
Yes.
That he probably couldn't have done... he couldn't have done that with Superman, so he got another guy in to do it. But
Superman doesn't get 100% of the fights.
No.
But it doesn't become a Justice Gang film.
No, absolutely not.
It's they intervene in Bravia, in Jaranpal, in the end. But that's because he's bound up with another fight. Like a more important one, kind of. My one bigger than a nitpick, but smaller than a problem, was the final battle.
Okay.
So while the identity of Ultraman was telegraphed by plot details, and it does have thematic relevance, like him versus himself kind of thing, it didn't feel quite right to me.
Okay.
And the ending, the very final scene, was an obvious one, but a nice one and a fitting one. That's the ending that it should have been.
Okay.
Him on the, seeing the memories of...
with his parents.
With his adopted parents. I was happy to watch it again just a couple of days later to write up my notes for it.
Okay.
So that's a very good sign. Its tone is very inviting. It lends itself to the rewatch, right? You just like being wrapped up in that world. It's just fun. And it goes, I said it already, but it goes without saying because one of those troll monkeys could have made a superior film. But it's so much better than Zack Snyder films. So much better. I'm very confident with him at the helm. Waiting for scripts to be ready before you make a film. No major reshoots. Basic principles, really. That, in the context of Hollywood, apparently require a prolific visionary to institute. Now, if I was him, I would want to write the Batman film that's obviously coming. That's going to be the real test. I think. Because it works with Superman. This thing. With Batman, I don't know. That's all I've got to say. I recommend it.
I recommend it as well.
Yeah.
Were you as surprised as I was? Because I don't think I'm like a prude, or I don't think I'm like a, you have to be very careful about what you're presenting to kids.
Okay.
I'm not one of those people. I was surprised how many times they said shit in this film.
They probably said it the max you're allowed for the rating it got.
Yeah.
So they probably had to cut some shits.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I think things changed from when we were kids.
Okay.
I think you can get away with more in a 12A. Kirmo talks about this all the time.
Okay.
You can get away with just a lot more in a 12 and a 15 that would have been 18 when we were, or even are, in an American context.
That's kind of nice, because sometimes it feels like we're going in the opposite direction, where it feels like I think people they bring up like the is it Temple of Doom where the guy's face melts,
right?
Like that was in a PG movie. You'd never be able to do that now,
right?
Or like something that is like a little bit fucked up in a way that like, I watched stuff when I was younger that was a bit like that, but now you'd go, we can't show this to kids.
Well, yeah, just using the BBFC as the example, their trajectory has been one of goofy censoriousness to now being quite reasonable and a decent guide. But there's always been an arbitrary element to these things, where the example I always go to is American Beauty's an 18 and Shaun of the Dead's a 15.
Okay.
Because if we say cunt a certain amount of times, that just boosts you to an 18 straight away.
Right.
Whereas someone's head being ripped off and stomach ripped open, that gets a 15.
Okay.
So there's definitely an arbitrary kind of element to it. I think because there's more sexuality and stuff in American Beauty. But also, Louis C.K.'s talked about it, where in his show, I'm sure I brought it up before, but they wouldn't let him do a certain thing on FX, but he watched The Shield. And in the pilot, there's a woman that's been murdered with, like, you can see the cum puddle on her stomach. It's like, but I can't say this word.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's definitely kind of a random nature to it. But anyhow, Superman's good.
Yes, it is a recommendation from me.
And that's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.